Hey there, subarctic beekeeper, one of the many. I keep saying that because I want you to know that there's quite a few of us that overwinter our bees, keep bees in this crazy environment and climate that we have. I'm not the only one, sure. I'm the only one that wants to this is my super hive this year, the one that's been out producing all the others. Right now I'm smoking the feeder because it's clogged with dead bees, and I want these bees to have full access to everything they need: pollen, all the vitamins and minerals, protein, carbs, sugar, etc. And when it gets clogged like this, they can't get to the sugar syrup. Now this sugar syrup is a 2-to-1 ratio of sugar to water. And you know what I think? I think there needs to be a little more water. The reason we use 2-to-1 is so that the stores have less moisture than honey, which allows the bees to go for a longer period of time without defecating, which is what we need up here, because our bees can be under snow or in the bee barn, however the beekeeper chooses to winter them, for 6-7 months without chance of a cleansing flight. And a cleansing flight is a pooping flight. Sorry, I didn't mean to emphasize the word pooping, but that's what it is. And in the spring, when our bees are able to get out, it is, I don't want to say it, I do want to say it, but I'm going to try not to say it. It's a poop storm. You know what I'm trying not to say. It's all over. Gets on the windows, gets on the trucks, gets on the beekeepers, the hives, the tables, and it's some stinky stuff. But they've been holding it in for a long time. How would you like to not go to the bathroom for 6-7 months? I know I wouldn't want to. So what the bees do is they put up these reserves, and they will be in a cluster during the winter, and during that time they'll be surrounding the queen to keep her warm at her happy 93 degrees Fahrenheit-ish. In order to do that, they shiver, and when you shiver, it takes a lot of energy. And so these bees will consume the stores that they've put up for the winter. Otherwise, wouldn't have access to any food. So our method that we do up here, our methods, are not necessarily the methods that you should use, wherever you are. As you see me throw dead bees out. Ew. You've got to do what works well for your area. So, ask longtime beekeepers. Ask the beekeepers who are successful wintering their bees and are okay talking about it and aren't afraid to tell you if they know why they're successful or why not. Because you can learn quite a bit from those who don't know why they're successful. But then, if what you're doing doesn't work, you won't necessarily know why it doesn't work. So understanding the biology behind it helps you choose how to respond. Just like the queen introduction I just did. The requeening, if you will, of the hive I did a few minutes ago. Because that queen had absconded, which means she left the building. Look at that smoke. Yes. So, different areas use different things. Beekeeping is local, and what that means is that beekeeping, while there's so many things that we all have in common as beekeepers, that are all working with the same insects, we have a lot in common, working with the same animal, but the way we keep them alive and healthy is highly dependent on, or highly related to, where we live. Our environment, our climate. What's the difference? Climate is weather. Environment, well, it wasn't supposed to change. It has been changing. Some people leave honey in their hives. We don't leave honey in our hives over the winter. It's got too much moisture in it. And moisture in the honey means it's got to come out of my body somewhere, somehow. What goes in has got to come out. With this low moisture content, the stores and the reserves we have, their shivering produces condensation in the hive. Moisture. Up here, it's not cold, even though it's severe, that kills the bees. It's the moisture. I'm going to go frame by frame on this hive here. Excuse me, honey. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. God, I hate when the bees die. So, condensation goes up inside the hive, which does not have a top entrance, by the way, when you're wintering. Up here, where you live, it might require a top entrance. We don't want to lose all the heat that's in our hives, because the bees do not heat the hive. They only keep the cluster warm, the queen warm. That's their job. If we had an entrance at the top, then the heat would leave, and we can't afford that. So we have a bottom entrance. Lots of insulation on the top. Anyways, condensation goes up, rises to the top of the hive, the one deep box that we have our bees in, because we winter in one deep box. We don't use two boxes like they do in some other places. All the bees, all of them, will fit into one deep box. The larger the colony is, the easier it is for them to keep the queen warm, and the less stores they consume. Look it up. Randy Oliver, Scientific Beekeeping blog. Great blog if you haven't found it yet. Bees are active. A lot of nectar in here. What I'm wanting them to do is put away enough reserves so we've got some spares. This hive next to it has got 2 deeps on it, just for now, because it was producing a lot of honey and such. It's okay, ladies. I don't really need to check the rest of you out. Although, if I don't have a queen excluder, my queen could be up here. If she's up here, I could lose her. After losing the last queen, I'm developing ulcerative mellipheritis. My term. It won't be covered by insurance, I guarantee you. Not in America, anyways. Not in the United States. Because insurance doesn't cover much anymore. Anyways, I don't have a lot going on up here. Oh, I do have a queen excluder, which is great. So I don't have to worry about her. I can take this box off. You see, when I just change my speed just a little bit, those bees come for the hand. My gloves are short, unfortunately. They give me better dexterity, but they're short, so they come out of the sleeves. I'm going to take this box off and put it on this piece of foam insulation I have here, which is what I use to cover this hive and provide some shelter. Holy crap on the propolis, huh? Mother of God! Holy jeez. So the hive's got good weight, because I can see I'm lifting up the entire hive, trying to get this box off. I'm not making the bees happy. Oh, I gotta crack the propolis. It's good. It seals up the leaks. Mother of Pete. Alright, I don't want to take one for the team today. This might be what happens. So I've got an open box right next to me. I got some bees. These gals have been real protective all season. That suits me just fine. I've got a rock star queen in here. She's from last year. I haven't seen her in a little while. I haven't needed to check because everyone's been doing great. I want to check my mite board, see if I see any signs of varroa. I see a couple on there. A couple is too many. I'm not going to do much here. I'm going to add some pollen patty over what would be the brood nest if she's still laying, and some fondant. as well as make sure that they're getting to that syrup. I try to make videos that I don't have to edit too much, and it doesn't work, because that's what takes the time. Put some dead leaves in here, creates a nice white smoke, cool smoke, not hot. I'm going to remove this queen excluder and then load them up. Workspace, workspace, workspace. The Wonder Fondant. It's not warm. It's keeping this going over the lid of the hive. I'm going to put the pollen patty on first. I'm going to squish it down with the queen excluder so that it doesn't stick up into the frames of the honey super. In this bowl, I've got pollen patty mixture, and there's some Hive Alive scraps in there, because the last time I did it, I wanted to scrape out the Hive Alive packet so nothing went to waste. I've got a little shower cap to put on top to keep everything from drying out. Stick it in the fridge and it's all good. Time to get this queen excluder off. And I'm going to put it in my tote. Got a lot of honey in there. I don't see any fecal matter. There's a lot of burr comb on the top of these frames that I'm going to scrape off. You can probably see it coming off. You know, it's interesting. The burr comb, to me, it looks like a spine. The spine of a mammal. Because it's kind of in the shape of a line of comb, but not closed up. Having this burr comb on there can get in the way of the bees getting between the frames and getting to food. This is what I mean by spine. You can see it. Super strong. No matter what, when you're beekeeping, you're going to disturb the bees at some point in time. Put this right over the center, the brood nest. So if there is brood in there that's going to hatch, it has immediate access to pollen and all the other goodies that are in there. Some sugar, carbs, proteins, fats. Thymol to help with mite resistance. Tropilalops is on its way. A friend of mine who used to keep bees up here is now down in Pennsylvania. He said he heard that Tropilalops made it to Tennessee or Kentucky. That is the mite that would feed just off of Apis dorsata, which is the Asian honeybee. That would make open comb, makes open comb. Look it up if you haven't seen it, it's pretty fascinating. Well, Tropilalops is a mite. Looks like a little less round version of the varroa mite. We don't know. I'm sure somebody knows. I don't know all the problems that'll come with Tropilalops. I said it right this time. But it's definitely going to cause some problems. I'm going to push that down. I really don't want this to obstruct the ability of the boxes to be close together so that there's an air gap. If I was using all wooden hives, I wouldn't have that issue. But I'm using polystyrene mixed with wood, and so I do have that issue. So they are loaded up with some food now. I want to clear the bees off the top because I want to put the feeder back on and fill it with syrup. make sure it's on snug, make sure they've got access to it. I'm going to fill it. You can't see this, but behind here I've got some shims in order to tilt the hive forward so that the syrup falls to the front and everyone can get access to it. I've got my syrup. I think the next batch I am going to add a little more water because there's some crystallization that happened. These bees are hungry. That's it. That's it for this hive for today. Oh, well, it's not it. I didn't put the lid on yet, but you can see that I've got bees on the lid. The temperature right now is about 60 degrees. Unheard of. It's about 7 p.m. here. So I was able to just knock the bees right off in front. They'll make their way back in before it gets cold and dark. And I will move on to my next hive. Take care. You know the drill. Take care of your bees, yourselves, each other. I shouldn't minimize the importance of that. Ukraine is winning. This video is copyrighted and all rights reserved. I'll see you again.